Say hi, Coronado.
Welcome back to another episode of Cougar TV. I'm Emma Hitt.
And I'm Indigo Arcilla.
Our boys swim team is back in some aquatic action for this spring season.
And they've been putting in a lot of hard work to be ready for each of their meets.
We decided to go into the deep end to talk to Mr. Holm, the swim coach, and some of the Coronado swimmers to find out how they are conducting their Monday through Thursday practices in the pool to better prepare themselves for each of their meets.
Let's dive in, Cougars.
We practice Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 5:30, and then Saturdays, 8 to 9:30. However, most of our meets are on Thursdays, so we don't have practice on meet days, and that's why we have Fridays off is for recovery after meet day.
I think they're preparing me pretty well. This is only our third practice we've had, but I feel like it's been going pretty well.
The hardest thing that I have them do at practice, honestly, probably 125s. One of the things that we talk about a lot is we sprint 125s, we train 125 so we can sprint 100s, right? And so I don't know what they would say, but that's probably one of the harder sets that I regularly give them.
Probably underwater 25s. Those are fun.
So right now we're doing a lot of aerobic swimming, which is getting a lot of yards in, we're getting a lot of distance in, working on lung capacity. That's just because we're at the beginning of the season, so we're building endurance. As the season goes on, we're gonna progress into anaerobic swimming. So we're gonna go so right now we're doing lots of yards in long sets. So we're gonna slowly progress into less yards in short sets.
I think we're gonna do pretty well. The team's larger than last year, which is really good.
I'm excited. We did well in years past, and our team is bigger than it usually is. And we've got, even the new kids are already showing a lot of great potential. So I'm really excited to see how we do this year.
Yeah, join guys swim. We need more divers too, but I know nothing about diving, so I can't comment on that, I don't think.
Hey Indigo, why should you swim in an ool instead of a pool? Because there's no pee in it.
Anyways, glad to see our boys swim team has got it down for this season. And now for the spring sports scores.
Girls soccer beat Elizabeth 1-0. Baseball also beat Elizabeth 7-6. Boys swimming lost to Mullen 54-98. And track placed 14th at the Palmer Terra Invitational. Great job, Cougies. I'm so proud.
Atta Bebe, Cougars.
Recent events have transpired here at Coronado, making a toxic culture.
Luckily, we were able to talk to Mr. Smith about what it means to be kind to everybody, not just the people you know.
The way we're going to encourage kindness in our community is to first understand what it is. And so I think about true kindness being friendly, generous, and considerate of others, regardless of anything else, regardless of how they think or how they feel or what they're doing. And so it's a choice. It's a choice we're going to make. One thing I think about in our community is, how do we get back to where we were a few years ago? We've had COVID come along, and we've had all the political nonsense that's happened in our country. And how do we take those two things, set them aside, and get back to treating each other with the kindness and the generosity and the being considerate, all of those things. And in a nutshell, it's a choice we're going to make. It's a choice we're going to make based on the idea that we don't have to think the same. We don't have to believe the same, because that's ridiculous. It'll never happen. There's too many different ways to think about life, and too many different ways to go about your life. And so we as a community, as a people, need to get back to the foundation of what do we have in common.
We can improve kindness by supporting each other as much as we can. If you see someone who might not be the happiest, compliment them or ask them if they're okay or if they need anything, because that always seems to be uplifting to people. As a student council member, we're really involved with the student body, and so we know a lot of people in the student body, so we are supposed to just check in on people. I don't know, just make sure they're okay. And we're also really close with the administration. And so if we see someone who might not be having the best day or hasn't been doing okay, then we can tell admin about it, just to help.
We want the diversity of thinking to exist in our community. We want to be able to talk and come to a conclusion that we agree to disagree, but yet we still are going to be friendly, generous, and considerate of each other, because that's really the foundation of our mission. And I'm going to read a school board policy to you. Board website, the District 11 board website. Policy AC starts off by saying examples of individuals or groups who are in violation of a policy. This policy will do these things. Number one, they're going to make demeaning remarks directly or indirectly, such as name calling, racial slurs, jokes, or threatening or physical harm on an individual on the basis of a disability, the need for special education services, whether actual or perceived, race, creed, color, sex, marital status, sexual orientation, transgender status, gender identity, gender expression, national origin, religion, ancestry, age, genetic information. And these are the things that we are called not to make demeaning remarks about. This policy goes on to say we're not going to write about those things. We're not going to destroy property based on these things. So that's the foundation of what our district's built on. You know, we're not all on this earth so that we can all think alike. This is your life. You get to choose what you're thinking and how you think, and you get to choose to be who you are. This is everyone's mission and vision. If you're here on the west side, let people think and find the commonalities between us, and that's how we're going to live.
Online, like with Instagram and stuff, don't comment anything hateful, or just try to support people as best you can on the internet. It's easier to like have more confidence behind a screen and be like anonymous, but that's not gonna do anything good for anyone. So it's easier to just like support people online as you would in person.
No one gets to just say whatever they want without consequences. That's how the real world works. The real world is, you're going to say something, be careful, because how are other people going to perceive that? And if you're not going to say it to their face, but yet you're going to go ahead and say whatever you want on social media, and then come back to school when you got to look them face to face, it just doesn't work out. So my advice on the social media is to treat social media in terms of this whole concept is, how can you be kind on social media? And if you don't feel like you can be kind, boy, I just don't say anything.
It's a good thing to know that there are ways to be kind without using all your effort. Well, that wraps up another episode of Cougar TV. I'm Indigo Arcilla.
And I'm Emma Hitt. Stay classy, Coronado!